Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm Andy Billman here, Rob Valore there. Grab your sticks. The Browns didn't do anything. They had the week off. But Jed Wills said, I need to make some headlines. He is frustrated over not starting left tackle because he didn't play because of a business decision. Get into that. Winston starts against the Saints. Not surprising. Cavs are rolling. Cavs are playing super. To be transparent, if this was in LA, this was in New York, this is in Boston, this would be a world story. This Absolutely. Is a big-time story, and I'm going to talk about that in Cleveland. Clevelanders need to start getting on the bandwagon. Ty Jerome, you can throw out many names here. Garland's closing the fourth quarter. I'm just going to pick Jerome today. He's been wonderful. I call the Ty Jerome tornado. And then the Buckeyes win in a yawner against my poor Boilermakers, who now are just waiting for their next coach. But that's for another podcast. Jed Wills says he made a business decision. You run businesses, Robert. What did you think of his comment? I didn't like it.
Okay. Well, yesterday he said he was at 70%. Mm-hmm. And how would it be if him at 70 going out there and another guy, albeit not as talented as him, was at 100%? Yeah. Okay. I understand what he said. Do we have to agree with it? Should he have said it? No. Okay? No. How he said it, a business decision. Jed Wills, we need to sever ties, and we don't need a 70%er on our team, because I can assure you that Joe Thomas played at less than 70%, and he still didn't hurt the team. Wyatt Teller, these guys have gone out there and they've played. Mm-hmm. They've played hurt. They've played dinged up. I appreciate maybe his candid answer there. I'm not sure if that was the right thing to say, but I think he was honest, don't you? I mean,
there's no question he was honest.
He was honest about it, Andy. I mean,
here's my thing that I get very bothered by. You don't want to, if you're injured, I learned this a long time ago working in the media business. If you're injured and you need to be taken out, then I actually am okay with that. He said, I'm injured. I didn't want to play against the Ravens. Okay. I do agree with what Robert just said, though. Other guys have played through injuries, and actually Jed is too. But okay, whatever. Okay, he's on one play, which, by the way, plays into the sprinkling why the season stunk.
Right.
Here's where I have a big fucking problem. Well, I'm frustrated because I'm not playing left tackle. Well, dude, you took a break. And in life, when you take a break and someone takes your spot, this is what happens.
This is what happens.
It doesn't mean you're not going to get paid. Doesn't mean you're going to get cut right now, but it means that the left tackle position has been solved. And by the way, he's played better than you.
He played better, right?
You've been a sore throughout this whole entire time you've been here. And I'm not saying it's all your fault, Jed Wills. And I'm going to raise my hand because I've seen this shit. I don't know what Rob thinks. Jed Wills go somewhere and be good next year. I will warn you. Yep. I've seen that shit before. It wouldn't surprise me. Schwartz was the guy on the offensive line. He couldn't do anything. He played for the Chiefs and did really well. So
Cameron Irving. Oh, yeah.
Yep, so I'm not there, but I don't. The business decision framing, terrible. I mean, we all have moments. That was his moment. It was bad. Okay, back to this, though. You can't say, but I'm also frustrated. You can't be frustrated. If you need to sit out, you sat out. Jones played better. Here we are.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Isn't
Jones
it
played
games?
Better than you. Jones played better than you.
Yes.
You can't say it's a business decision and then say you're frustrated because you're not playing.
Bingo. Thank you. Exactly. End of sentence.
Right.
I don't want to hear about, and I don't want to hear sympathizers for Jed Wills. There's some people I really respect giving way too much sympathy to this guy. Hey, you said it. You're frustrated, or you're going to be frustrated and playing somewhere else.
And here's the thing. How long? Okay, his contract is coming up.
Yes, he's done.
And I don't want to hear the pundits, the local media. We shouldn't waste our time talking about him, Billman.
No.
Let him go. Let somebody sign him,
Yes.
and God bless him. If he thrives with the Chiefs, with the Niners, with the Steelers,
Whatever.
God bless him. If they could turn him into a ball player, they're a better outfit than we are, because I believe now Dickerson is his first year, but Callahan tried, and maybe we're not the team that could get. They just can't motivate the kid. Okay,
can't do it, and he's leaked oil beforehand with Callahan. Here's something though. This is a side topic, but I'm gonna go on down this road. There are some things that really bother me that the Browns have done that were the right moves at the time, and they're playing better, and this is not good. It bothers me saying nothing against them, so I'm not rooting against them. Baker's playing really well. Bothers the fuck out of me. Bothers me. I watch him, like, God, he's playing well. I just saw this weekend Quentin Richardson making sacks.
But hold on, Andy.
Drives me crazy.
Do you think at the end of the day, honest to God, with that outfit in Tampa Bay, in your heart of hearts, as much as, and I agree with you, I like Baker. I love his heart. He's a gamer. Do you think Baker's ever going to raise the Lombardi trophy?
No, it was the right move at the time to get rid of Baker. See, I'm one of those guys who understood. He actually trapped himself and made some poor decisions. And actually, I think he had to go. Yes. What I'm getting bothered by, and this is where I am opening my eyes. Okay, Watson, before he came in here, played well. Okay, he took a year off, and Stefanski's offense hasn't played well. Baker has, since he's left, I see him progressing.
He's gotten better.
And it bothers me.
But Watson, Watson was historically terrible. Andy, I'm not talking about, you said well. He wasn't serviceable. He was historically one of the worst quarterbacks in the National Football League. I mean, we're talking about Deshaun Kaiser horrible. Okay? So, but back to let's stay on point here today. As much as we like the kid's heart, look at that play at the end of the game where he's stiff-arming the guy for 5 yards. I love Baker's heart. I love his moxie, his couillons. I just don't see Baker with that Tampa Bay outfit winning it all.
I don't disagree. I don't think you're wrong. But it's frustrating seeing him do well. Not frustrated. Not frustrated at Baker. Frustrated he's not doing it here. It's frustrating. We fucking suck.
How frustrating is it? How frustrating is it seeing Kareem Hunt run for 100 yards?
I was going to bring him up next.
We can't run the football with Deontay, whatever the hell, Foreman, Jerome Ford. Kareem Hunt wanted to come back to Cleveland 2 years in a row. We don't want him.
He's a Cleveland kid.
He's a Cleveland kid. John Dorsey took him with open arms when nobody else wanted him.
And that was a risky move. And he did. And that
risky. I met Kareem Hunt. I met him several times. Kareem Hunt, he goes back to Kansas City. He tells Andy Reid, I won't let you down. We got to watch him on Monday Night Football running for 100 yards and scoring touchdowns. Billman, what the hell are we doing?
Well, this goes to my bigger point. Same old shit. Because I Quentin Richardson, what was his name, Williamson or Richardson? When I saw him make a sack this weekend, I'm like, the guy couldn't get on the field. And now he's making plays somewhere else.
Of course.
God, it's frustrating. And it happens a lot. It happens a lot here.
Yes.
I'm tired of it.
Yes.
I get the feeling I'm Charlie Brown and Lucy's pulling the football.
Pulling the football right out from us. Absolutely.
Got to stop micromanaging this team with collaborations. I'm going to hammer that. Hire someone who can lead it and not micromanage it. The organization can't micromanage. They're not good at it.
Well, are we going to go into again with the analytical Di Podesta shit? I don't know.
Bye.
I mean,
ship him. Bye.
I don't know.
I'll put him on a boat. Bye. Take care. Go off into Haslam's group. Try to change the Milwaukee Bucks. They need help too.
They're a mess.
They're a mess.
Oh yeah, they're a mess.
They're a mess. All right, we got off topic, but I guess we're on the same point about Jet Wills, which is good. Winston's the starter, no surprise, right move. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Right move, right thing.
He's playing for a job in 25, whether it's here or somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone. DTR is gonna be number 2 next year. Who's number 1? We're gonna find out.
I don't know.
We're gonna find out. That's for a different show. But I do think it's a key time to do stay or go. Then we'll wrap around the Saints game real quick for thoughts.
Okay.
Watson, we both agree should go, right? Has to go.
Oh, absolutely. But go where? Just let him ride off into the sunset. Just don't eat. You got to pay him. Yeah. He's a cancer. He's a black cloud. I mean, yeah.
Wills.
Goodbye.
Now we're getting to the tougher ones. Those two were easy. Now the tougher ones. What do you do with Nick Chubb? Not signed.
Okay. Here's the thing. I want Nick Chubb at the right price. I think if I'm Barry, I sit with Chubb and his agent and I say, Nick, we love you. Let's come with something that's friendly for both of us. Let's load this contract with incentives. Yes. You get 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. And let's be fair to the kid. Let's be fair to him. And I think Chubb, we do everything we can to keep him into Cleveland because right now he hasn't looked great, but it's not fair for us to grade him on 3 weeks of ball on this shitty outfit with the terrible offensive line. We don't know what's up or down. You know what I'm saying? They're a mess. He right now on an early grade, we'd say he looks like he's lost a step, but it's too early to call. But me in my heart, I want to see Chubb in Cleveland. Go ahead.
I will just follow up with this. Make the deal and whatever you have to do.
Yes.
This is one guy. It's for the right price, for the right contract. He needs to be a lifer here.
Yes.
Keep Nick Chubb, make it work.
Yeah.
I'm going to combo these next two. I think even though they both can play and their contracts are worthy, this is tough. These are two guards, Teller and Bitonio. These are tough, and I'll lead off. I think they have to make a decision on one. And I would probably lean to keeping Bitonio because he's been here so long. And he's got a lot of loyalty to the Browns. But if you're being truthful, you probably keep Teller. But you just drafted a right guard out of Zinter out of Michigan. These are two guards that are very highly priced, and they're worth it. These are good players. I would keep Bitonio and probably trade Teller. Probably. What do you do?
I notice this is an unpopular opinion, but Zinter hasn't looked great. Okay, he hasn't looked great.
He's a rookie, but he hasn't looked great.
He's a rookie, but I would move on from both of them.
Wow.
I think I would move on from both of them, and I think that this is. And I understand about Bitonio. He's been there, and I like both of them. They've played hard. They're gamers, but those are big contracts.
Big
contracts. And I think that's, I would move on from both of them.
I think Teller's very tradable. I'm going to repeat that. I think Teller's very tradable.
Yes.
And it's going to be interesting to see they keep both here.
Yep.
I know how my friend feels about this, so I'll go first on Winston. Winston does need to go. It's not because he's not a great backup. It's just because I think they got to move on because they're going to be sucked into this Watson contract. And I just don't think you can spend more money on a big time quarterback. I think they're going to, 2025 is going to be bite the bullet. And hopefully DTR can back him up, whoever he is.
But why don't you think that, what do you think Winston's going to want? Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I just look at how over the cap they are and how much challenges they have going forward. And at some point, you got to start making some decisions here. And I just think Winston's one of those guys. I don't think it's DTR's third year in the league. I mean, at some point, you are the backup. You got to do something.
So who's going to start?
Well, you don't like Milroe. I like Milroe.
You can't. I'm not for drafting a kid and starting him.
I think DTR might be the starter, and it's going to flip. I think next year is a transition. I know everyone wants to hear this. Transition year.
Even if it is a transition, I think, and I said it before, I think if it's not, we'll see how this year ends up. If Winston can keep himself together, which I know we had 2 games and nobody likes the guy, but if it's not Winston, there's guys out there that transition. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the little bit I've seen out of DTR. I think because of the reckless way he plays, he's not going to be able to stay on the field.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not going to be able to stay on the field, and he hasn't. Small sample size that we've seen out of him, his decision making hasn't been great. I don't want to knock the kid. I love, everybody loves the backup quarterback. I'd like to see him develop, but I said it before. I'm all about let's go get Sam Howell. Let's give a Mariota.
Not crazy. Not crazy. All those things make sense. Yeah.
Don't want to reach in 25 for a Milrow, who I think is inconsistent. They're bantering back and forth about Ewers or
sure. There'll be some Division I AA quarterback that comes through too. I mean, there's going to be other names. It always happens. And by the way, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. Look, you're making great points here because you do need a quarterback with some competency, a backup in some way. I just don't think it's going to be Winston. Actually, I'm going to say the thing that they won't do. They should send a flyer to Flacco, ask him to come back.
No.
Yes.
He's had 2 shitty games. The Colts aren't as good as we were last year. They're proving it.
You know what I love about Rob? Rob wants to win. I'm already resigning. Like we're not going to win, so just put it. You can be confident. But that's the way we should be.
Andy, what if the Browns win 4 of these next 8 games?
Tough decision.
What if Winston's serviceable and we win 4 of these games?
I think they have a tough decision if that happens. I really do. I think it's a tough decision. If they win 4 games at Winston, he deserves to come back.
Right. Because I'm telling you, and I got to hear these people. For those of you that don't know, I own bars, and everyone that sits in these bars is a genius. They all should own NFL franchises, NBA franchises.
They're all great softball players.
Yes, they're all front office executives, and according to them, Winston lost that game. They did, nobody saw the defensive breakdowns. The Chargers beat the shit out of the Browns, okay? It wasn't only Winston. No. Now, folks, let me tell you, the Saints were riding high last week because as my kids were all excited, their new interim head coach is the Rizzler. What's this shit with the Riz? Darren Rizzler, the special teams coach, right? That shit lasts for like 1 week.
Oh, yeah.
1 week, okay? Yeah. This is a winnable game.
Yes, it is.
It's a winnable game. The Saints are a train wreck.
Yes.
Okay, they're a car crash.
Yes, you have 2 games. 2. You have the Fish and you got the Saints. You can win those 2 games.
Well, the Fish, that was a good game last. I'm telling you, the Fish.
Well, bring them to Cleveland in cold weather. Let's see what happens.
Well, yeah. I'll give you that.
Like I'm hoping for like a huge temperature drop. Like frozen fish would be great.
Yeah, frozen fish.
I'm not a fan of this guy. He's not a bad guy. This is a good character guy. Newsome drives me crazy. I would look to trade him. Guy can blow a big play. He was terrible in the playoff game last year. He is so hot and cold. It drives me crazy. Yep. I think he's overrated by some. I would look to move Newsome.
I concur. Absolutely.
He drives me crazy. And I know, and I can hear it now. And I know Cameron Mitchell doesn't look as good. And Martin Emerson's having a bad year. And I'm a Martin Emerson supporter. I believe in him. He's having a terrible year. Don't know what's going on there. But yes.
You're a sympathizer. You're a Martin Emerson sympathizer for some reason. I don't know.
It's a Mississippi State thing. I'm ringing my bell.
Carry on.
Okay. This guy I would keep, but I know people are saying they're ready to go. I think you got to keep Denzel Ward. I know he's expensive. He's a Cleveland kid. I think you need to keep him here. Again, as a player in the offseason, you probably get something for him. I wouldn't do it. I would keep him.
Andy, and I've said this before, Denzel Ward is so underrated. The man does a fantastic job. Yeah. You keep Denzel Ward at all costs. Yeah. He is a fantastic football player. If you go to a game in Cleveland and if you sit there and you watch the Browns on defense and you see they put him out there on man coverage, he does a fantastic job by himself. He really does. Okay. I've met him several times. He is an unassuming young man. He's very small in stature. You'd never guess he was a football player. I'm telling you, Ward is one of those guys like Garrett and Chubb. I keep him. You keep that man here.
Agreed.
Absolutely keep Ward on the roster.
Agreed. Nothing more.
He's a good kid. He doesn't do anything. He goes home and plays on his Xbox. He minds his own business. He's an introvert. He doesn't want to talk to me, you, Mary Kay, Daryl Ryder, Ken Carmen. He doesn't want to be involved. I like that.
I'm fine with it too. I like him. A lot of people want to move on from him. I would not move on from him. This next guy, I would, and he's another flip-flopper to me. And this one would hurt because I do like. Again, it's another guy I seen promise. He's been here a while though. I think Njoku, it's time to look to. He's up and down. He's another up and down player. He's more consistent than Newsome. Njoku last year was very good. The year before, I thought Njoku was good. Years prior, I thought he was so inconsistent. This year, he's back to his inconsistency. I would move on from Njoku. I would look to trade him. Really would.
Well, I thought at the trade deadline, we would have moved on from him, to be honest with you. I agree. you know, a couple of years ago, he was one of those guys that he would drop a catch right in the numbers, and then he would make these amazing catches. Right? It was crazy. I don't know.
It's tough.
It's tough. But here's a good question, and I know you're going to tell me it's Dorsey's offense. Blah 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 blah. Stefanski, we used to have 3, 4, or 5 tight ends on the offense, and we used to throw to the tight ends. What the hell happened to that? Who do we have? We have Akins. We have what happened to Harrison Bryant? And what happened? Where's all of our tight ends?
The Browns are micromanaged by analytics. They did an inventory, and they said this doesn't fit Deshaun Watson well.
So we're afraid to throw to tight ends?
They changed their offense.
The Kansas City Chiefs will line up 4 tight ends on the field at the same time.
Rob, I agree.
The Dolphins have 2 wide receivers and 4 tight ends out there.
Rob, I'm just explaining what they do. They micromanage too much. They change an offense that worked. Joe Flacco should have been here. End of story.
Oh, okay, Billman, hold on. We were watching that game the other night, and I don't know his name. Pardon my ignorance here. The kid for Penn State, number 44. Let's get that kid, that tight end, whatever the hell his name is. My son loves him. Let's get a guy like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's get a guy like that. And I'll have his name next time we're out here. That kid is a hell of a ball player. So staying on topic here, I agree. The Chief listen, I've met him too. He's a monster. He is an imposing figure. That man is a beast. He's a physical specimen. He's a nice man. But I agree. Let's move on.
Tomlinson's the last one. Defensive tackle.
Who? LaDainian?
I would love that one.
Go ahead. You got me fired up now. Why'd you get me fired up, Billman?
I know how to push. I'm trying to learn how to push buttons.
Oh, you're doing a good job now.
Tomlinson is tricky because they do need defensive tackle. Mike Hall's in rookie land Siberia, so we don't know where he's at. Hopefully he comes out of his shell at some point. I think the kid can play, but yeah, we haven't seen him. Tomlinson's another big contract. I am very 50-50 on this because I do like Tomlinson. He's very consistent. We know what we get from him game in, game out. I lean towards actually keeping him. He's a big contract. I'm telling you, his number is big. But I know you were going to say that.
Here's why I'm leaning, because I'm taking that kid from I'm taking a D tackle number 1. That's what I'm doing. I'm moving out from these big kids. That's a big contract I'm getting rid of.
You're not
getting rid of that.
You're not wrong. Again, Tomlinson to me is not like a much love. Rob and I will do a Thursday show. We'll go through picks and we'll do a bigger preview on the Saints game at that time to get ready as we get warmed up.
Analytics says get the hell rid of him and let's draft someone to help Garrett. Go ahead. Sorry.
The analytics of this team. Micro-managed Browns drives me crazy. Not the case with the Cavs. Cavs are good. Cavs are 12-0. They keep flipping games. And what's great now is we're starting to see the reverse. Obviously, the Warriors is the culmination. The last 2 games, Nets, they should have lost. Bulls was right there. Could have gone either way. Now they're starting to win games they shouldn't have won. The Nets game, they should have no business winning. I'm telling you right now.
Yep.
No business winning. They had no business winning the game in Milwaukee either. But they won both, and here they are. The one thing I was going to go over this, Rob, which is there's so many different things with the Cavs, but to be more brief today and more expansive next time, the one thing about the Cavs, though, that I'm ready for is this city explosion of love. I'm telling you, for people who haven't watched this team, this is very special. Mm-hmm. This is on its way. Doesn't mean a championship. No. Doesn't mean NBA Finals. No.
No, too early.
Doesn't mean you should use your time to watch them. I'm telling you, yes, this is a fun, clean, well-coached product.
Yes, embrace it. And here's you're right about these games that they should have lost. And here's a big difference, because and I don't want to disparage, I don't want to hammer JB, but what JB would have done, John Blair would have kept that same rotation when Garland and Mitchell, when they were struggling, when his tight rotation was struggling, like last night in Chicago, he would have kept that rotation going, and it would have been a dogfight all night. But Atkinson, he continues to roll with that bench, and I mean, if anybody, nobody thought Ty Jerome would be doing this. You're getting, I did not like Niang. I'm starting to really like Niang.
Really well last night.
He's playing well.
I'm going to
Levert.
They're getting the best out of him. I'm going to interrupt and say one other name. This guy didn't score, but his defense was great as Merrill. Merrill didn't score.
Oh, my God.
Well,
he did.
But he played really good defense. That's a player, JB, in the past. Goodbye, Yank.
No,
Goodbye,
he wouldn't play him.
Yank. And it's like he can play. Like this kid's showing he can play. And I applaud that one more than any of them.
Billman, here's the thing. Can their shooting stay as hot as it is?
It's formulated. I'm telling you, this is not like back in January of last year. It's very formulated.
Yes. And my answer is because of, yes, it is formulated, and because of their inside presence and the way they're running that offense, I'm very confident in the way that he's running this team and the confidence that he has instilled in these role players, okay? And I've talked on my nephew's show and with you, we've talked about, is this Mobley's team? Is this Mitchell's team? Hell, maybe this is Garland's team, because he has had, in the last 5 minutes of the game, Darius Garland has taken the clutch shot.
Yeah, I agree.
And I love to see this kid really taking charge. I mean, I
agreed.
These are games. Last night was, you're thinking, oh man, this is a tough one. They're really, you could see the way it was going.
Agreed.
You could see it was back and forth, and then he goes to the bench.
Yep.
And I mean, this guy, if Cleveland hasn't noticed, they better get on the bandwagon. The NBA is noticing. I'm telling you, and the thing is, the rest of the league, they don't really give a shit. because they don't start playing till February.
And by the way, fine.
That's fine. Right. Joel Embiid and Paul George, they don't play.
Hey, hopefully they get healthy. We'll see.
Right. Let them get healthy and worry about their knees and ankles, all that other bullshit, because we are a buzzsaw. And I think if we can stay healthy and with his rotations and the way he's playing, guys, Andy, you got to be tickled. You got to be tickled pink.
Very formulaic. Everybody, look, Mitchell's not had one of those games that's gone off yet. Really, right now, Garland's closing games, as you mentioned, and I agree.
Yeah.
Mobley makes key passes and key plays and moments. Allen, which we're going to talk about in a second, really great rebounding and does a nice job getting open and finding space. He's also passing better than I've ever seen in his career. But the George Niangs, the Levert is playing very confidently. He didn't play well last night. Okoro played great against the Bucks. Okoro played great against the Warriors. Like, he's had moments where he's really stepped up. He's pulling the right strings. And again, I'm going to use Sam.
Excuse me. Did you notice in the first couple of games, Okoro didn't get a lot of minutes?
No.
And now he's starting to get his, he's starting and when Wade went down. And I love that because I always thought Isaac was a hell of a defender. And I think you need that out there, out of that position. And the way they're balling and the way they're fighting, they really give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And I love it.
Pure heart. Atkinson's great. One thing to keep an eye on, and again, I'm keeping we're going to do more in the Cavs. I know it's a Brown season right now. Keep an eye on Allen. Looks like he did get injured. They have not announced anything. I don't know why. All three teams now love to hide injuries until the very last second. It drives me crazy. They used to announce it. They don't. But Allen did look like he was hurt. So that's something to keep your eye on. I don't think it's devastating, but I think it's something to keep your eye on. I could see him missing a couple of games. He didn't look right at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So that's something to keep an eye on. Now, last thing for everyone in here who hasn't watched Cavs. They play the Sixers. They stink. No Embiid probably tomorrow. I get it. You don't want to watch? Fine. I would watch. I'll watch. You don't want to watch the Bulls? Fine. You should watch. The Bulls are very improved. Hornets, okay. Sunday, you got dinner, fine. On Tuesday, you play Boston. And there's a really good chance the Cavs are going to be undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's in the area, I'm going to probably go up to that game and figure out how to get in there. That is a very special mid-November game for Cleveland. It's a very special game. They get in there undefeated.
Here's the thing about that worries me about that game. I've seen some of Atkinson's press conferences, and he has said that the streak is on their mind. We know that we're 10-0, 9-0, 11-0, and going into Boston is a freight train. Okay, so yes, that will be squeaky bum time. And I hope that he has them playing loose, and that will be like a playoff atmosphere. I can't wait. I don't see Philadelphia is a disaster right now.
They're bad.
You don't know where Joel Embiid.
No George. Right. Maxey always kills the Cavs.
Yeah,
no
he's
Maxey.
out. We don't know if Joel Embiid is pushing. Don't go there. He may knock you over.
No, I know. Seriously, doubtful. The Bulls, I will say again, if people didn't watch it, Bulls are sneaky good right now. They're very improved under Donovan. Don't be surprised if they kind of hang around that 6, 7, 8 area. They're not going to be.
But do you like Gideon Levine? I just don't like those guys. I mean,
no, but they're improved. Like, you watch certain teams and they look. Now, look, the Bulls weren't very good last year, so to say that against the Bulls is not saying much. I'll say this: like, I like this team better than when they had DeRozan last year. And they have a lot more energy. But it's like the Pistons. Pistons are better. Do I really like them? No. But that's what JB does. He's going to get the most out of his players in an early thing. Donovan, they're better. Boston, telling you, everybody out there doesn't watch them. You need to get on board Tuesday.
That better be on national TV. That better be on TNT.
TNT, it's already been out. TNT grabbed it.
Yeah.
Big game. Speaking of big games, this is the opposite of a big game. Buckeyes have had a few of these in the last few years. Where you watch a game, you watch a team, And you go, let's see. I think win by 30. They're going to win by 35. I mean, it's more guessing what the ending score is going to be. There's nothing to break down the Purdue game. I'm telling you, it was a terrible game. Gus Johnson, I've never seen more of a sleepy Buckeyes touchdown. Buckeyes touchdown. Buckeyes first down. Purdue misses the kick. By the way, Purdue's got to fix that kicker situation.
Oh, yeah.
My God, is that embarrassing. All right. But the backdrop was the big storylines. Georgia lost. They look vulnerable. Oregon keeps sailing along. But now after watching and seeing the breakdown, LSU's gone. They're out of it now. I'm starting to see now, and this is good news, Buckeyes can probably lose another game and be okay in the playoffs.
Where do you see them losing?
Oregon or Michigan?
Maybe. I mean, Oregon's
tight.
Are they going to play them in the Big Ten championship game?
It's going to be well. It's either them or Indiana, because the head-to-head matchup right now goes to Penn State losing to Ohio State, so they get that tiebreaker. Ohio State and Indiana play each other, so that'll
be a tough game. But
tough game.
Indiana, Michigan gave them a battle, and Michigan's not. And listen, I love Indiana and I love their coach, but they're not.
Yeah, it just reminds me of young teams that are growing. Indiana's growing. Would not be surprised if Ohio State smoked them.
Yeah.
Really,
and that Purdue game, I
boring.
I leaned Purdue with the 38, and I thought somehow they would be able to get a backdoor touch, but that was hard to watch. I mean, that was hard to watch.
I'm a huge Purdue fan. That team is dead ducks. They've been dead ducks all year. That coach is gone. They need a whole plunger flush. It's unfortunate because Braum built a good program.
Yeah, what do you do there?
Well, he took his program to Louisville, and now his alma mater. And right now, you just watch Purdue, and what's sad is Purdue's not incompetent in talent. You see some talented players, but they just have no plan. I mean,
who are you going to get? Urban Meyer, Nick Saban?
I think Purdue needs to really do some soul searching about hiring a guy. It's going to be one of two things. One of those armchair, ARP coaches that's over 65 that's just going to fix it quick and leave. Or you need to hire someone who really wants to stay. Yeah. You need someone who really wants to embrace Purdue. It's a basketball school that you can win in football. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. That's just what it is. It's North Carolina. You can win. You can win, but are you going to compete basketball?
Yeah.
No,
because I tell you, Nebraska is going to be okay with Matt Rule, and Indiana is going to be solid with Cignetti up there. Those are two good coaches. They're clowning UCLA. I don't know. They're going to UCLA and USC up there. I don't know. But
USC is something to watch. I think Foster's doing a nice job for UCLA. They beat Iowa. They're doing a nice job over there. Lincoln Riley, it's not going well.
He should be an offensive coordinator somewhere.
Yeah,
just kind of hang it up.
And I'm going to tell you, that's another one. Wrong podcast. That is underwhelming. USC's good, and they're not winning. They're not winning. In fact, if you go, who are out of the four teams who's handled it the worst? I'm like, USC's handled it the worst right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, UCLA's starting to win. Washington's competitive. I know they got blown out against Penn State, but they've had some competitive moments. Oregon's Oregon. Well, USC is just, I don't know. And I don't know. I think the Trojans, it's a little bit of thing to watch.
Yeah.
Chalk Talk's the name. We'll be back here Thursday to preview the Saints game, get into some more gambling picks, and get into everything else. Please leave comments. Feel free. Go to the Fairview Tavern. I think someone goes there frequently. I won't say who on this show, but I think he's a frequent visitor, making sure everything's in the up and up. Also, too, make sure to have any ideas or stuff you want to hear or talk about. We love talk. Rob's been very good today about staying on point. As you can tell, we've been trying to stay on point, but we love to talk. If you have something you want us to talk about, hit us up with some comments. We'd love to hear it. All right, Rob, final thoughts here real quickly as we get in through the week. Just real fast on the Guardians. Like Hedges coming back? I do. You good with that?
Hedges is the absolutely. He's the ultimate cheerleader.
Yeah.
He's a guy that he's great with the pitchers.
Yeah.
I think he only helps Naylor. Love Hedges. Absolutely.
Yeah. Great hire. I'm glad they brought him back. Something I would just warn fans about the Guardians. There's this Naylor brothers thing, and there's this thing about Josh. I'm going to be very hard. You can't trade Josh Naylor. Guy hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. He's a pure cleanup hitter. And a team that needs more hitting. Can't trade him. I know he's got in his last year of arbitration. I understand all that. But we'll warn you again, you cannot trade Josh Naylor.
I don't think they will.
There's a lot of rumors about it. I will say it loudly. You cannot trade him. Can't.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so either. And I think Bo needs one more really good look to evaluate. That was really kind of year one last year. Let's see what year two's like.
Well, who do they have? Do they have anybody pushing his right on his tail? No. And Stephen Vogt was a catcher, so I think I agree. You got to give him another chance, and let's hope he develops.
A lot of fans ask me about trading Josh Naylor. No.
And here's the thing. It's hard to do what we did last year again, whether you're the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Guardians. Look at the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. Baseball is the hardest sport to replicate those seasons over and over again. It's very hard.
Agreed. Chalk Talk. See you here later this week. Enjoy it, everybody. Au revoir.